Welcome everybody to our March 18th Arizona morning session of our Path to Awakening series question and discussion with our Venerable Khenpo Tenzin. We will begin in our Yellow Garchen Buddhist Institute prayer book on page 1 with our opening prayers. All mother sentient beings, limitless as space, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and omniscience, may they experience happiness, be free from suffering, and swiftly may they attain precious, unsurpassed, perfectly complete enlightenment. All mother sentient beings, limitless as space, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and omniscience, may they experience happiness, be free from suffering, and swiftly may they attain precious, unsurpassed, perfectly complete enlightenment. All mother sentient beings, limitless as space, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and omniscience, may they experience happiness, be free from suffering, and swiftly may they attain precious, unsurpassed, perfectly complete enlightenment. For that purpose, until I attain Buddhahood, I will apply my body, speech, and mind to virtue. Until death, I will apply my body, speech, and mind to virtue. From today until this time tomorrow, I will apply my body, speech, and mind to virtue. I take refuge in the Buddhas until I attain the essence of awakening. Likewise, I take refuge in the Dharma and in the assembly of the Bodhisattvas. Just as the Buddhas of the past gave rise to bodhicitta and progressed along the Bodhisattva's path, so shall I give rise to bodhicitta and practice the stages of the Bodhisattva's path. I take refuge in the Buddhas until I attain the essence of awakening. Likewise, I take refuge in the Dharma and in the assembly of the Bodhisattvas. Just as the Buddhas of the past gave rise to bodhicitta and progressed along the Bodhisattva's path, so shall I give rise to bodhicitta for the benefit of all beings and practice the stages of the Bodhisattva's path. I take refuge in the Buddhas until I attain the essence of awakening. Likewise, I take refuge in the Dharma and in the assembly of the Bodhisattvas. Just as the Buddhas of the past gave rise to bodhicitta and progressed along the Bodhisattva's path, so shall I give rise to bodhicitta for the benefit of all beings and practice the stages of the Bodhisattva's path. Until awakening, I take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings. Until awakening, I take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings. Until awakening, I take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings. May all mother sentient beings, limitless as space, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they not be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. May all mother sentient beings, limitless as space, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they not be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. May all mother sentient beings, limitless as space, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they not be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. An infinite array of worlds, each with 4 continents and the wealth of infinite oceans of realms. If I bring them all to mind and offer them without exception, please hold with compassion all the beings they contain. My body, enjoyments, and whatever I own, my aggregate elements and sense sources, my aspirations now and in times to come, as well as everything I grasp as mine. By offering them all, may I be blessed with the end of self-grasping. completely liberated from the bounds of real and unreal, transcending the names and concepts of arising, cessation and abiding, coming and going, affirmation and denial. The Supreme Mandala is the natural state. By offering it, may I be blessed to attain the state of Buddhahood. Om Guru Deva Dakini Ratna Mandala Pratishta Swaha. Namo. To the Guru, the utter purity of all appearance and existence, I offer all appearance and existence arisen as the primordial ground. I supplicate you, may the three realms be completely liberated. Please grant blessings to empty samsara from its depths. Lord, with 5 omniscient wisdoms, crown ornament, kind one with loving nature, precious protector of beings, heart of all Buddhas, inexpressible by words or thought, I supplicate you from the core of my mind. Bless me from within the state of Dharmata. Bless me to realize this mind primordially pure and unborn as the unfathomable Dharmakaya. Please turn the wheel of the Dharma, of the greater and lesser vehicles, and the teachings common to both, according to the dispositions and mental capacities of sentient beings.
Good morning, dear Dharma friends. Hello. Oh, Kate. Okay. Are you ready? Maybe they don't hear, or they can hear. Oh, nice.
Yeah, we can hear.
Oh, great.
But we can't see you. We have the guy that just said the prayers, but we don't have you.
Oh,
For those of us logged in anyway. Oh, there you go.
Nice to see you all. Nice to see you, dear Dharma friends. Okay, so here's first I would like to ask my question. So it voluntarily give me answer one by one. So my question is, we all have 5 afflictive emotions. Among them, which would you remove first, and why? I will repeat just in case. We all have 5 afflictive emotions. Among them, which would you remove first, and why?
Is impatience an afflictive emotion? Impatience.
Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you.
Is that an afflictive emotion though? Impatience? I know patience is one.
Oh, they ask question, right? Oh, I see. Yes. These are the number one is the ignorance and anger and attachment and jealousy and pride. These 5. Yes, Eleanor.
That's a hard question. But my first reaction was anger. But when I thought about it, I think I'd rather get rid of ignorance first. Because if I could get rid of the ignorance, then I could understand the rest of the emotions.
Wow,
I mean, that's how my thinking went.
exactly. That's exactly. Thank you very much. Okay, next.
I say attachment.
Mhm.
I was going to talk, but you can talk instead.
Oh, that's okay. Sorry. I
Oh,
had
it's
a very similar thought process to Eleanor's. And I think for me, ignorance is whenever I feel angry, I find that if I pause and really take some time, I almost 100% did not fully understand what the person I'm angry at or the situation I'm angry at really was experiencing or going through. And it always changes my perception. And so I feel like if I were to get rid of ignorance, that I would have more understanding and be able to stand in other people's shoes more easily.
Oh, thank you, Oshana. Thank you. Okay, next.
Well, I honestly would get rid of attachment, mainly because I spend so much time doing, I don't know, samsaric things. Now with COVID, playing video games, watching TV, and almost all the time when I'm doing that, I'm saying, oh, I should be practicing the Dharma. Oh, I should be practicing the Dharma. So I would say attachment.
Thank you very much. Um, did Billy, can you see the face? No, which one? Edgy. Oh, Edgy. Thank you. Thank you, Edgy. Very good. Yes. And the next. Gail, your speak. We can't hear you. So. Oh yes.
Oh, there we go.
Uh-huh.
There we go. I would say attachment as well, because that, patience is an issue with me, the anger, the ignorance. I think if I could not focus so much on the mundane things of life, that would help with the other afflictive emotions.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Thank you very much, Gail. And then. Yes. Uh-huh. Thank you, Jay.
Okay. Thank you, Khenpo. So, I mean, I had three that just popped right up, but I think it would be pride.
Mm-hmm.
Because the pride is the harder one to see,
Mm-hmm.
and pride is more. It's like a cocoon. It's more confining
Mm-hmm.
than the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
And so it for me, or it breaks the connection.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the one that puts up the most barriers. It doesn't put up more walls, but it just, because there's natural barriers with it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and and it's the strongest sense of self.
Uh-huh.
So that's why.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Jay. Very nice. And yes, Goli.
I think for me it would be ignorance,
Mm-hmm.
because without ignorance, then the other afflictions can be transformed into wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
So I would prefer to get rid of the ignorance first.
Oh, thank you very much. Very nice. And next. Yes, Ilya, right? Ilya? Ella? Ella, yes.
Yeah, I think I'd like to get rid of jealousy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you very much. Very nice. And then next. Mm-hmm. Yes, Susan.
I would want to get rid of ignorance first also because it keeps sending me in the wrong direction
Mm-hmm.
and stops so many good things that could come in if I didn't have that cloak over my mind.
Oh, thank you very much, Susan. Very nice. And next, who would answer? Or you, if you don't have answer on them, then I will listen your questions. Yes, Shana.
Khenpo, could you describe like when I feel an afflictive emotion, I try and sit with it and just sit and watch my thoughts and feelings and let them pass, sort of like clouds in the sky. And I'm wondering, could you speak to the process of being with afflictive emotions, and then like the immediate process, and then also like the long-term process, like as we keep doing that, what develops?
Can you repeat? Sorry, I can't hear. I'm sorry.
Should I speak a little louder?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Oh, don't worry. Don't worry.
So I was wondering if you could speak to what do we do with our afflictive emotions?
Oh. Mm-hmm. As in Dharma, teaching says, first we have to know these afflictive emotions. This is very important because as Buddha said during the Four Noble Truths, he said, we have to understand suffering, and then after we start to process to give up the cause of suffering. Similarly, first we have to know the afflictive emotion, and then also especially which afflictive emotion related personally for individually have we all have 5 afflictive emotions, but among them the according to different karma, so there are different emotions particularly related individually, I mean. So someone is very much related to anger, someone related attachment, and so on. That's why first we have to know not only, oh, this is attachment, the attachment is that, anger is that, not like that, but individually what I have, for example. And then second is until now, I utilized I have been utilized this emotion. For example, until now I utilize my jealousy, and then what is this result? This jealousy helped me or this jealousy harms me, and we have to observe. And then in the same way, the angry emotion, until now my angry emotion benefits me a lot, or the many harms. For instance, it angry according to the angry emotion, then separate with the friends, family, and then one's body. Think for one's body, for example, until now you use angry emotion, then this result is happiness or unhappiness. When I am angry, then my friends, family, they are happy or unhappy, and something like that. So we have to analyze, or we have to little bit analyze, and then we get answer. Oh, until now I used my angry emotion, but it harms me a lot. It harms my family, my friends, or something. And then we in our mind, the how to say, we would like to give up this anger emotion, and then we arise the Dharma wisdom to be patient. So that's why first we have to understand, and then we learn the faults of these afflictive emotions, and then we should be mindful. After knowing this, then we should be mindful. That is very important. And then always we be always we prepare to be patient. And then the first we should effort, and then after months or after years, then slowly we become familiar to be patient. So this is very important. And then sometimes we compete patience and anger emotion, jealousy and rejoice, and ignorance and Dharma wisdom. And so then the dedicate or dedication and desire, something like that, we compete them. Then which emotion, feeling or emotion makes more benefit ourselves, and which emotion makes more benefit for others. So sometimes we observe about this, and then whether people say you don't be patient, but you like it, and you automatically become patient, and also you automatically practice rejoicing, and so on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Khenpo, if it's okay, I just will ask a little other piece of her question because I'm interested in the answer. Shauna was asking like what the process is, like what the meditation part of, so she can recognize that she has an afflictive emotion, and then she tries to stay with it, to be mindful of it, rest with it. But like what is how do you do that? Maybe better? Is that what you mean, Sean?
With this emotion, right?
With any afflictive emotion, how do you stay mindful of it until it passes?
Oh, yes. Oh, thank you very much, Golly. This is depending with emotion. For instance, I often said that sometimes if you are angry with your friend, for example, and then at that time, sometimes you be mindful means you don't go with him or her at that moment. And also you don't speak at that moment. So that means you don't reject your friend. So that means you try to avoid. First, you try to conquer your angry emotion. So our afflictive emotions are temporary, like clouds in the sky. So you close the door, close the window, close the door and just meditate for a little while, or read a Dharma book, or listen some music or something. Anyhow, you're just wandering your mind with different ways. So that will then slowly your emotion goes the way of impermanence, which means it's the strong feeling reduce, getting loose. This emotions power getting loose, and then your wisdom comes up at that moment. Okay, then right now be the through angry emotion, how to say, the activities with the angry emotion has benefit or non-benefit. Maybe you will know. If you don't know that, at least there you get some opportunity to be patient. Perhaps if you are angry with your friend, one person, and then you don't connect at that moment with him or her, and then after a little while, perhaps you can get some other ideas, which is perhaps you appear your friend's good quality. First, you in your mind appeared bad quality of your partner or someone's. Yes, and then after you you take time, don't say directly this is your fault, and don't anyhow don't connect with him or her, and then it's very possible your friend's good quality appears. This is if I repeat again, the before last year, if my friend doing very well, and then this year my friend became opposite. It becomes opposite. That means my friend tried to. Actually, I say a friend, but whether that friend tries to harms me in many ways, many directions. And then first I directly focus what my friend try to harms me. If I focus on there, then my anger becomes stronger and stronger. So then at that time I try to say something, it become harsh words, and I try to act something, it is very possible to harmful action. But then I little bit sit, best is the meditate and then think, oh, last year, before 10 years ago, 20 years ago, helped a lot. He or her, she helped a lot to me. And then we think, and then we can slowly ignore this year's actions. And then perhaps we can arise compassion, and then something like that. And also if your friend jealous to you, and then same ways. Why? Sometimes if people are jealous, we don't want to upside, that means you are increasing. If you are not increasing, people are not jealous. Am I right? When people start to jealous to you, that means you are increased, you are development. And then you give compassion. The person who is jealous to you, that person can efforts develop oneself, but because of ignorance, power of jealousy, and then their actions only try to harm others. But no reason to upside. But sometimes I said, don't let too much create this jealousy, that person. So that's why you little bit keep distance. That is a good idea. If one person just jealous to you, on the other hand, you are developed, you are developed. Other case, that person start to jealous actions, and then you don't create lots of this cause. That means you are a little bit keep distance with that, and then that person's jealousy slowly reduce. But you should reply it through your compassion. Always give back compassion. That is very important. And then other afflictive emotions are also same. Is it clear?
Thank you, Khenpo and Goli.
Oh, you are so welcome. Thank you. Yes, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I have two. I'll do the long one first, and if we have time at the end, I'll do the shorter one. But I'm going to give you the long one first. So I was having a conversation with an acquaintance of mine, and when the conversation stopped, then, and I may not have the words right or the visualization right, but the stream of thought continued. So while I was having a conversation with this person, it was like we were both in a stream, a mind stream. And then when we hung up, then the mind stream for me was continued. And so I'm wondering, not a way, but a something, and it started down a negative path, but a way to have it so that the mind stream is not hooked into the past. So at one point in time, you told me to leave things outside, not bring them in. Mm-hmm. So visually, that's easy. Auditorial, through the hearing, mm-hmm. For me, it's more difficult.
Hearing the
so leaving when the hearing sense is done with that experience or whatever's going on at that time, leaving it where it's at. I'm still in the stream of hearing.
Uh-huh.
Does that make sense?
Oh yes.
The thought stream is it's going down the road, the path.
Oh.
That it's going. It's not. There's not a there. So the wave is still there, but the story then starts. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
The storytelling of, look at this and that, and it's, a lot of the story is self. So I'm looking at how to leave when the sound is done, when that's the hearing sense is done, to just move into the next thing.
First, what I understand from your question, so I will say something. If this answer, if I'm not clear, then please repeat. Let us do it again. So during the meditation and visualization, or anyhow, when we start to tame our mind, tame our mind, and then we have sometimes it is depending our elements in our body. So for that reasons, the our elements is also related with different kind of wind in our channels. So that's where there's something easily we can reject or leave left. Something is very difficult. For instance, if you left your homeland for a long time, of course you like your homeland, and you like your friends, and a lot of things. There are lots of favorite things, but among them, if the years gone, and then not completely forget, but a little easy to forget is some favorite place and something like that, but not easy to forget parents. So they always appears in the mind, especially when you have challenges or problems. Similarly, during the meditation, actually, for instance, in shamatha, in the Sutara way, we call shamatha, and Vajrayana or Tantric way, we call it generation stage. So at that time, the hardest thing is, in the Dharma says, during the shamatha practice, your real hardest thing is sound. The sound makes more distract to your mind. You can avoid colors, forms, and also temporary thoughts. You can avoid. It's actually the nature of thoughts is just coming and going. It's very slightly come, slightly go, but goes. But these sound directly affect to your the stabilization, or your the remain as quietly or gently. So that's why. Then how to give up is whenever we heard sound in the Vajrayana path, we do that, try to transform into the mantra. Mantra, it's quite hard to, for example, this outside somebody say hello, hey, then directly it's difficult to transform into the Om Mani Padme Hum, because it is a big difference. But then how we can do is like a single mantra, single syllable mantra, like a hum, hum, hum. Yeah, if we focus inside of a sound, the old sound says hum. Any kind of sound sounds, they sounds they are saying hum hum. So that's why, and or she or in the Dzogpa Chimbo whatever. So then that means you are still in the shamatha meditation because you are focused single-pointedly on the single syllable mantra. Is it clear?
Yes, very, very clear. So what I mean, it wins. So it's a different. The mind looking in was looking for something else, but it is the winds, and yes, using using another sound for that sound. So using the tool that so yes, makes perfect sense.
Thank you very much. Yeah, don't try to avoid that sound, but you transform that the way of.
Yeah.
Actually, in the Dharma say, in the all the phenomena they remain the top of your concentration. Top means corner of your concentration. Your focus.
Yeah.
That's where you can transform.
Yeah.
And all Dharma friends, thank you very much for wonderful questions. Here I would like to clear two things. Sometimes I'm hard to understand as well. I know you repeat again questions. It's not easy, but let you learn patient from this way. And you already a wonderful patience practitioner. But by the way, I often speak with Goli because Goli is my English teacher. So Goli and Bailey here. So we are often speak. That's where I'm familiar with that. So sometimes you repeat, still not clear. If you think I don't understand, then I will ask Ms. Bailey and Goli. They will help me. So of course I have to offer you clear answer. I don't want to waste your precious time. So that's where we have this opportunity, or so let you know that, okay? And thank you very much. Wonderful questions. Okay, next.
So we have two written questions. The first is from Christian, and he asks, if one is a follower of Christianity, can you still practice preliminary practices without a refuge vow?
Oh, yes. Absolutely, you can practice. Actually, even you are any kind of religious follower, it doesn't matter. Especially you say the impermanent, right? Absolutely, you can practice. The thing is, and all this Christianity and other religions, we should respect them, and because they are helping to people and other lives, we have to respect. Of course, we are following these religions or not. Whether you following Buddhism, you follow Buddhism or not, everything's are your hand. It's your freedom. But I will make clear one thing: the bad way of Dharma practice. If you take a refuge vow from Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, and then you practice like a forethoughts, like a impermanent, its benefit is big different. But you have benefit. After you take a refuge vow, then practice this benefit, and before take a refuge vow, you practice. There are big different. big or huge different. So that let you know. Otherwise, in the Vajrayana, something is without empowerment, not allowed to do some part, of course. Otherwise, you can do all the. Anyhow, Dharma means your positive actions are Dharma. Negative actions are non-virtue. So, non-virtue and virtue, it is not related which religion or non-religion or whatever, but we have, for instance, if you take a lunch, if you may say, of course you do, but lunch, and then in that lunch has some nutrition food, or you just eat some simple food. They are different for your body. Similarly, if after you take refuge vow, then your practice has more energized. That's what I can say. Otherwise, absolutely right. Yes.
Good.
Uh-huh.
So one more question in the queue before we get to those raising their hands right now. This is from Trish.
Uh-huh.
So she says that her answer to the first question that you gave at the beginning of this talk is ignorance. She would get rid of ignorance, and she says that getting rid of ignorance would get rid of all the afflictions.
Uh-huh.
But she says she didn't hear anyone mention fear.
Oh.
So, which she thinks is an affliction that she suffers from often.
Uh-huh.
Especially because most people have been experiencing a lot of fear, I assume, with pandemic and everything else that's going on in the world.
Mm-hmm.
She asks, could you talk a bit about fear and where that sits within the afflictive emotions?
Oh, thank you. Who is this question?
Trish.
Trish, thank you very much. And also before this question, who asked?
Christian.
Christian, thank you very much, both of you. And the fear is related to all afflictive emotions, but usually we often repeat 5 afflictive emotions, and sometimes we repeat 6 afflictive emotions, but still we have 20 afflictive emotions. And then we go forward, then we have 84,000 afflictive emotions. So the fear is actually related to grasping, and fear is related to pride. And then there's the fear is related with the grasping, which means then grasping is directly related ignorance. So then whenever we have identification of I, then fear is arise, because even though somebody threw something in front of our eyes, suddenly we do like that. This is at that time we don't say I, but that means we have, this is action of egoistic mind. So the fear comes from the grasping. And then if we have to reduce fear, then we have to reduce grasping. This grasping is not good sound. Fear seems not good sound. But this question is wonderful, really. Because fear is not exist only this life, with this life. Fear comes, more fears come during the pardo. Pardo means between the next life and this life. How it comes? Right now we see these tankas, wrathful tankas, and last year and before last year, the visitors, they come, visitors, they comes and they say, oh, what is this? Why they do? Someone thinks, oh, this is a little funny, and someone thinks, oh, it seems wrathful, but they have not that much fear, right? So it's saying, right now we are the practitioner of these wrathful deities, so we are not fear. But the Pardo, they appears. These wrathful, right now we see in tankas or pictures, but during the Pardo, they real appears. They appears for what? For protect you, protect us. We all in the future being of Pardo, future we become being of Pardo. So at that time, they appears for the sake of protecting us. But the opposite is we are scared them, fear them. We try to run away from them. Even though we became unconsciousness, and the wake up from there comes, and again we see these wrathful deities, and then we are so much afraid, so fear and scared. That's why right now we have to make a relationship with these deities. That's why often say, oh, the seeing seems they are wrathful, anger, they're holding some weapons, something like it's a really serious things, but they are inherently dharmakaya, peaceful, compassion, bodhicitta. So that's where we training, we meditate, practice with them. Slowly we noticed they are our mind. And then during the Pardo, we are so exciting to see them before they appear. We are so exciting to see them. When we see them, we know, oh, you are my best friend. And then they lead us the pure light. So that's why now how to do. Whenever we have fears, whenever fears, feeling of a fear arise in the mind, and then sometimes we watch it, and then let them come down. When we watch it significantly, skillfully we watch it, then they automatically transform into peaceful. And then sometimes we transform it like wisdom. Fear and angry emotion, they are related wisdom, mirror of wisdom. They are pretty strong feeling. We all ourselves know, even of course, but other people knows. Other people knows you are angry. But ignorance and attachment, they are little subtle. We knows, even though ignorance is pretty hard to know, but desire arises in the mind, we know ourselves. But people are quite hard to know you are in desire. So, but fear and angry emotions are, it's grossly emotion. So, pretty easy to notice by yourself. Sometimes you are unmindfulness. People know you are angry, and they show some actions. At that time, suddenly you turn your mind inside. Oh, right now I'm angry. Or sometimes you scared. That means also you notice your emotion is in the fear. So fear, whenever you have a fear, lots of I don't mean you are mistaker, but there are lots of faults. That means, for example, birds and wild animals, we love them. We love to feed some food, take care of them, but power of their fears, they run away. We bring some delicious food, but they run away. So that means they are scared. But it does not mean this is your mistake and something like that. But this is a wonderful question, because we have to notice what kind of emotion we have. Who know that? That is the best the practitioner actually. Buddha, he said, he stay in the kingdom and he always seems like suffering, and then he at that time he has a wife, he's a queen, ask her what happened, what something like that, and then Buddha say, I'm searching suffering. Then his queen said, you are so funny, everybody try to get rid of these sufferings, but you try to search this suffering. She said that, but then Buddha is more smart than that, because after he noticed suffering, and then he noticed how to get rid of, purify this, and then after he liberated completely. So, okay. Gail,
Here we are. Thank you, Khenpo. And actually, you just kind of answered my question in a big way. But I was thinking about how attachment, part of attachment is also aversion. And can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And so it's like I'm constantly judging. Like, I like that, I don't like this, you know, in a mundane way. But I also do that with people. Like, you know, I like that person, but I don't like that person. And I'm, you know, judging people based on stupid things. And I catch myself doing that. That's easy to catch and you know, say some money mantras and stop myself. But all the things about identification of I and ego and fear, and, you know, our country is so divisive right now. And, you know, I'm judging people, you know, because of the bumper sticker on their car, or because they're not wearing a mask in the store. And I don't want to give up those judgments. I'm like, I'm justified, you know, in those judgments. And, you know, so my question really is about taming the mind. You mentioned taming the mind. And, you know, I can stop myself, but and also the coming and going of thoughts, you know, because, you know, I can do that. A thought can come and I can stop myself. But how do I stop those judgment thoughts? That's my question. How do I tame my mind so those judgments don't even happen? Does that make sense?
Yes.
I mean, it's a bad habit. It's habitual. Bad habits. How do I work on just stopping those bad habits?
Mm-hmm. Yes, usually since we are in this the ocean of samsara, we all have attachment and aversion, these two things, and then the most of the time, even during the Dharma teachings and the Dharma prayers, it seems attachment and aversion means, especially aversion means some anger towards enemies and something like that. But that is right. But not only this, the aversion is, as you mentioned, that even though if I have for example, one object, one thing, for example, I have the meditation, this part. I like this shape or size, but I don't like this sound. This is like we have the kind of this. This we call the attachment and aversion with one object. That's where we all have this actually. And but we have to purify this. We have to purify this. And then there are different ways to reduce this attachment and aversion. And the attachment is actually whatever the favorite things, colors, forms, actions, sound, then we like it. It sometimes it's okay. It's okay. Through this way, we can benefit a lot to the people and so on. The aversion is we always be in the middle way. Middle way. Middle way means don't go one direction too much. If we do that, then we read motorcycle, not motorcycle, the cycle, cycle, right? Cycle. Then if we move one direction too much, then we fall down. So it is same. We try to be balanced. The balance is try to be balanced. It means you can watch two sides qualities. You bring both sides qualities. If you bring one side of all qualities and another side of faults, then there are no possible to purify the aversion. And then judgment is naturally being there. The mind of judgment naturally being there. So that's where we all we should think. Okay, these for instance, if there are two people, one person's you like one person's action, speaking, and everything, and then you dislike other person's action and so on, but you try to focus some qualities on that person, and then slowly you can develop your perception of equality. But if you cannot see any good qualities on the other person, and then at that moment you don't try to bring that person's any kind of actions in your mind. That means you like one person, you support that person, you respect that person, but just you don't try to of course don't try to harm other person, and you don't try to criticize other person, and you don't judge other person. That I think we can do. For example, perhaps this is too much examples, but I like tea. If I don't like coffee, then I just focus about the quality of tea, and I just drink tea often, and don't think or don't learn about coffees, the problems. For example, if you drink a coffee, it's hard to sleep in, or it's expensive than the tea or something. If we focus through this way, then aversion is naturally arise. So that's why through this way it's possible reduce the aversion. And then the best thing is in the Shantideva says there are no more way to practice except you take care of your mind. That's why this means whenever the aversion arise in your mind, then you acknowledge that. Second, you try to, I think it says forget. Try to forget. We can forget. That means you do different things. For example, you watch news. If you see there's some good things, of course you watch continuously that. But then some dislike things appears for you. That means you can change the channels. You come on the different channels. Then your mind draw through this way. So it's like a little help. Are you clear?
Well, it's just, and Barbara Dubois tends to call me self-righteous, but the things that we worry about in our country are things like racism, the Black Lives Matter movement, and now we're having a lot of violence against Asian people because of COVID and calling it the China flu. So how, that's an aversion I want to hang on to because I think that's wrong. I don't know. It's, it's a dilemma. It's something I really struggle with because, I can have compassion for people and because I think, I can try and think, well, what makes them feel that way? They're really suffering if, you know what I mean? But on the other hand, I feel like we need to stand up to things like racism because I feel that's wrong. So I don't know. It's a struggle.
Yes. Actually, there's I don't have much knowledge about these situations, but the thing is, if we have two glasses here, if we attack these glasses strongly, then both sides of glass break. So of course there is sometimes we see some faults, then through some aversion we cannot solve the many problems. It seems sometimes we can solve, but many problems we should solve problems, right? Solve problems through our wisdom, Dharma wisdom, and Dharma wisdom or the positive wisdoms, and then combine compassion, bodhicitta. These are very important. Actually, we all have same expectations. That means basically this world will become peaceful world. That is our wish. And then this wherever we live, wherever we are staying, that area would like to be peaceful, harmony. These are our expectation and our wish. These are very important, and there are sometimes I think this, for example, there are two different views. These are not so bad because we don't want to make it one view everything. Two views are somebody created for the sake of development our society, but the way of they use this view, then it's very possible. Even though in the Dharma, when we practice about the emptiness, if we don't know exactly, then they think emptiness means nothing. That means misunderstand. So that's where then we have to teach more about that person, what is the meaning of emptiness and so on. That's why we don't keep too much kind of the tensions because these tensions cannot solve the problems. But we see widely, and of course we have to take responsibility to solve these problems for the sake of future over generations and the peace of the world, peace of the for the sake of a peaceful society and so on. That's why if we think, oh, whatever, I don't care what happened, that is not good. But we, for example, if I am Dharma practitioner, of course I'm not great Dharma practitioner, but I'm Dharma practitioner, then how can I benefit for our society? Oh, I often say compassion, bodhicitta, and Dharma wisdom, harmony, something, how to meditation. Through this way, we have wonderful opportunity to donate, right? Offering donations. We have no more money to donate. We have no other skills like making some material things, but only small experience is bodhicitta, compassion, meditation. Through this way, those our friends in our society, we let their compassion arise, let them bodhicitta arise, let them meditation and spiritual wisdom and positive wisdom arise. We work like that. So through this way, our mind is naturally relaxed. But on the other hand, there are different responsibilities. That's where I can't say directly, don't do this and do that, because I don't have a big experience. If I say something, this is not so true. That's why. But your experience are wonderful. Through your experience, you can understand. You think step by step, and then you will find the best solutions. Thank you. Thank you. Izzy, yes.
Yes. When I encounter difficult people, and some of them aren't on TV and aren't even real, they're just a made-up story. But I find that if I think about the karma they're making and the karma they came from, I find that compassion arises, and I find myself praying for them. And I have to be very careful because I feel sorry for them. I'm going to tell you the truth, but I have to be careful not to say that out loud because people will get. I accidentally said that about the protesters that were storming the Capitol because they're making bad karma and they come from bad karma. I felt sorry for them and people really got mad at me. So that's what I do. I think about their karma, the past, where it's going in the future. And I'm sorry, I get frightened for them, and it makes me, it just makes me have compassion.
First I will answer, or I will say something. If it's not clear, please let me know again. So compassion means actually not like this. Whatever someone do, let them do it. It does not mean compassion. Compassion means, for instance, if I'm a mother and then I have a child, if my child stay well, that's one way. But if my child goes in the big river and then my child cannot swim, then I will not let go my child in the river, right? But I don't want to punish suddenly. Why are you going to the river and then I beat or what is it called, pinch. I will not do that because I don't want to let cry my child, because then this is pretty noisy, then it's distracted to other environment. So what I do is I use my like a common sense and wisdom, and I will save from this problem. I will not let my child does that, but I will, when I try to solve this problem or something, then the think for the future. This is very important. These are, we don't make many faults arises in our society, but we think for far away. Then the best solution is compassion union with wisdom, and bodhicitta union with wisdom. This is in the Dharma practice. Actually, Dharma practice and the mundane activities are only direction is different. Otherwise, action is very similar. So both actions need the compassion and wisdom. So wisdom is really important. Only you have compassion. Sometimes compassion make only you go to the direction of compassion. Sometimes it make mistakes. I'll give you an example. Some parents, they say, "Oh, I love my child. I cannot send it in the school. Send in school," and then they keep with them. Then children grow up and become uneducated. So this is compassion, but less wisdom. Oh, I love my child. I will send it to school, but I will support to my child, and then your child growing and it become educated, and perhaps your child helps you and to many people, something like that. So compassion union with wisdom is important. Is it clear?
Yes, but I still have a habit of looking and guessing at people's karma. Like, I have a really nasty neighbor and she did something really nasty to me. And it's like I'm not saying I could see her karma, but I could understand where she was coming from. And I just felt sorry for her. I didn't feel angry or anything. I really felt sorry for her.
Can you repeat that? Yes. Yeah, that's actually the everything's are related karma, but the karma with the conditions too. Karma and condition. So sometimes we have freedom to do something or not. It does not mean karma, but when you do, then you create karma. So karma means action. But anyhow, any situations arise, we have to. I already mentioned the wisdom, compassion, and then through this way we will solve all problems, and we improve all the good things through compassion, the wisdom. Thank you. Yes.
Are you saying what I'm doing is unwise? I don't really understand, and then I'll stop talking.
Oh. That's excellent. If you can give this compassion through this way, that's wonderful. That's where we said somebody harms you. So I will repeat. This is that's where we put the beginning of the all mother thinking beings, limitless as space, especially those enemies who harm me. That's and the obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacle on my path to liberation and omniscience. May they experience happiness, be free from suffering, and sweetly may they attain precious. So that's where we, if we can, we pray and we give compassion, bodhicitta, those our own enemies or those who made mistakes and so on. This is really great practitioners' activities. Thank you. Yes, next. Yes. Meta.
Okay, thank you. Can you explain more about the term of drops? So in relation of channels, winds, and drops, I have some kind of understanding about channels and winds, but I don't know, I don't understand about the drop. So what kind of quality is it? What is it referred to, this term of drops?
Oh, yes. The drops are actually in the simple way, this is energy of our body. Energy of our body. And also this is the essential of our body. We cannot directly, the real drop is we cannot pointing out through the physically, I mean, because this is a very subtle and very much related to your inner elements and especially your mind. So then this is provide from your crown to your feet, whole body, provide to the whole body. And if we utilize these drops, and then this is a very wonderful seed. Like we have Turikayas, usually we said Turikayas, Nirmanakaya. Among them, it is the cause of a Nirmanakaya. And also this is the cause of bliss. And then this usually we are not erasing that bliss kind of naturally, will not arise. This bliss will arise through our practice. So we often say bodhicitta, practice bodhicitta. It means at that time we understand bodhicitta means be kind for others, being kindly help others, something like that. But the bodhicitta's benefit is bodhicitta is also the name of a drop, I mean. So that's where it arises joy in your mind, in your body. So that's where we have many chakras on there. Some part is okay. So these chakras are path. Chakras are path, and then drops. The wind is like a horse, and then mind is a person who read that horse, and then drop is that at that time has a feeling which is a bliss. So drop is a bliss, and drop is also cause of a bliss, both. And then this part, when you practice like a Vajrayana, and then practice bodhicitta, through this way you can arise. And then this drop is very important to keep your life force. If you have a very you keep this drop, it is related to your longevity. Longevity, and it is also a foundation of many realizations of during your practice, the Dharma. So it has lots of qualities. This is a actually we say precious human life. If we explain through the precious human life on the path of Vajrayana, and then we have that special drop. Through this way we also can say precious, we have precious human life. So yeah, like that. But there are lots of explanations, but hopefully you get some part. Did you?
Yes.
Thank
you.
Thank you, Martha. Am I clear? Is clear the question? Do you think so?
Well, I did get some answer, so I think I should try to understand it more in a practical way. But for now, I did get some answer, so thank you.
Oh, you are so welcome. In this, if answer is unclear, if I don't know that part, then if you repeat 100 times, I can't answer. Otherwise, if I little bit knowing something, then you don't worry to ask, repeat your questions. Okay, any of your Dharma friends. Okay. Yes. Next.
Can I say something?
Yes, please.
Thank you. Sorry, there's something up with my Zoom. I don't know if you can see me, but anyway, whatever. No, I just wanted to say that your teacher must be a really excellent teacher, because you're always really clear, your English, but your communication, it's really, really clear. I'm not sure you know how clear it always is. Very good. So good. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Elia. Elia, yes. Ella. Thank you. Yes, Jay.
So, Khenpo, some speech is hard. It feels hard, no matter what, and it doesn't. The words don't make any difference, but the speech feels hard, and some speech feels soft. And again, it doesn't make any difference, and it's pretty consistent with, like one person's speech to me will the words will come in hard, and then other individuals, the words come in very soft. Is the speech coming from a certain location, or because it appears that individual is the one where it's very soft. It appears that the individual is directing the speech. There we go.
Oh, yes. My understanding from your question is very important, this part. This is, first I say in Tibetan grammar, it explained through Tibetan grammar too. And also in the Tantric ways, both. So it says dhanam. Dha means sound or conversations. Jundu means your kind of attention or attention. Jisenrang means anyhow, any kind of speaking comes from your mind. So this is also related to wind and channels. We have until here, one sound comes up downside until throat, and there this wind makes the conversation over like a here up come here just it support to sound, and here make some conversations. That's why everything's are depending with the mind. So that's where this different the soft and some kind of other harsh word, everything first comes from our mind. For that reasons, in the Dharma teachings, it says everything depending your mind, and especially your whatever you say is very related to your mind. So then this sound, speech comes from your mind, but then your mind, what kind of your mind, right? It comes from what kind of your mind. This is related to your mindfulness. Your mindfulness, if you are in the compassion, and then let come your speaking, your mindfulness has two kind of minds actually. Two kind of wisdom. One is part of stabilization, another is wisdom. It notices what kind of mind. That's where then when you are in compassion, bodhicitta, wisdom, and especially union combine the compassion and wisdom, at that time any kind of your sound comes out from your mouth are benefit for others and oneself. And at that time let it come, let it comes. That means you can speak, you speak. And then sometimes our mind is in the kind of some afflictive emotions, and then our mindfulness have to take responsibility. At that time say something or not, and then ask to particularly our spiritual wisdom. If I say something, sometimes it seems a little bit harsh word, but sometimes it will make a benefit for others and oneself. At that time, still our wisdom allows to speak out. So, all the speaking coming from our mind. Clear? Is it clear?
Yep. It's clear. Before the concentration or the focus, there we go. The focus was on the words, but knowing that there was an undercurrent, but only seeing the gross or the most in my face type of thing, but knowing there was even an undercurrent underneath that. So, and that would be yes, I got it. So it'd be for me, it would be like a mother who would grab her child away from the street and very harshly say, no, you can't do that. But the undercurrent, there's a softness to it too. It's not yeah, I got it.
I would like to know that clearly, means I would like to answer that, but so that's where any. Yeah.
Well, it's a different way of listening. There we go. And it's a different way of listening to speech, and not evaluating hard. Because my first evaluation was if the speech was hard speech, then the judgment started as to, well, that's not good, and because I was differentiating between that and the soft speech.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just noticing that some speech comes in hard and some speech comes in soft. It's enough just to notice that there is a difference without putting anything to it. Just to say, oh, that speech is coming in hard, and this speech is coming in soft, and not saying, oh, soft is better than hard.
Oh.
Just noticing that it's coming in different ways.
Mm-hmm. I think it's sometimes related. My understanding is that sometimes it is related person who speaks, right? Sometimes right now your hard word speak means harsh, right? Okay, so someone actually naturally their habit is a little bit like say some speak through harshly, so but then we notice, oh, this is a harsh word, this is soft word. That's almost we quite easily we know it. This is soft word, and this is a harsh speaking, and this is a soft speaking. But the thing is, when we follow like a harsh word, or we are follow this soft word, then we heard soft word attached to this. When we heard harsh word, we are aversion. This is the activities of samsaric activities. This we do naturally in samsaric way, but in the Dharma path, so we cannot completely exchange from this action, because we are still in the samsara. So first we just be careful, try to be a little bit balanced with these two words. That means don't be too much sensitive. Briefly my answer or my thing is, that means in the Shanti Deva says, if one too much sensitive and then there are lots of obstacles. If one be balanced, then there are less obstacles. So usually harsh word is not a weapon, but harsh word cut others' heart. So who speak this, be careful, is very important. But when listeners don't try to less judgy between this good, this bad, right? So we have to think impermanence. In 37 where it says, if somebody praise you and you become famous, this is like the thunders, dragons sound in the clouds, just bang 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 bang, then finished. And then someone using some harsh words. This is also like same is impermanent. Just come, it goes. Only problem is we catch, our mind catch it, but we really couldn't catch exactly. If we really catch that sound, we have to catch each and every vocabularies, sentence structures, and the sound of rhythms. Everything we have to catch, but we cannot. But what they are impermanent. That's where they gone. They're gone. But what we catch is we just make something, right? We make something. There's a small harsh word, but we make a big harsh word, and then we repeat them with our grasping, and then we keep it in the mind, and then person who speak harsh word, he or she already gone, maybe in the next life for decades years ago, but we still keep here that. So we call it resentment. That means we just challenge ourselves. This is so. That's where I understood really every situation is. For example, the Goli also Gail also mentioned this suggestion with a question. I totally understand that whether we say or not, we all have same feelings, but it's very good you Dharma friends speaking out to share. That means you start to search some solutions, right? That's why it's wonderful. And so from my side, what I think is like that. Is it clear? Oh, thank you.
Nope, I got it.
Oh, thank you. Yes, first, Eleanor first, and then.
I just wanted to say to the lady that was just talking, JHL, that, and use your example when you were talking about the mother that had told her child not to go into the river because she was concerned that he would drown. And she yells at him, "No, you can't go in the river." It's tough love. You know, it's that expression of tough love. So it's not that she's being vicious or bad to him. She's concerned about his safety, and she's upset that he's putting himself in a position where he could die. So she yells at him, "No, you can't do that." It's like a tough love reaction. And so sometimes when people, you know, are saying something harsh, what you perceive as harsh to you, it's kind of a tough love situation. So you really have to think these things out. That's all.
Thank you very much. What is the word? Tough?
Tough. T-O-U-G-H.
Oh, tough love.
Tough love.
Oh, wrathful compassion. Tough love.
Tough love.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes, Goli?
Thank you, Khenpo. I just had a question about your talk on Tuesday. I was confused with the direct karma and the karma according to the cause. So like for anger, the direct result is you're born in hell. And then is that right? And then the result that is according with the cause is that in the future when you're reborn as, say, a human, then you will have a short life.
Mm-hmm.
Did I get that right?
Yes. The karmas, first I will explain a little bit the karma of direction. So karma of direction is the angry is okay. Let me start from this way. Right now, this world we call the human realm, desire realm. Right now we are in this realm, desire realm. But it's here also have a part of hell realm, part of hungry, ghost realm, and of course animal realm and demigod and the god realms. So we have these 6 realms here too, but the reality of hell realm is in the other realms. But then directly the cause of karma of angry, we directly go to hell means if we close our eyes and meditate, and then when we are our angry emotion arises in the mind, how about right? What is our feeling? So suffering. Hell realm has means suffering realm. So directly means this is very directly, because when we are serious angry, we are really unhappy, sorrow. So hell realm means if we over physically in human realms, still our mind is like a hell realm. And then other ways, for example, somebody suddenly become angry and they use a gun and kills 20, 30 people, suddenly killed. And then what happened? After killed, they don't think, oh, I did a wonderful job. Because they try to run away, right? Why they try to run away? That means they know they made mistakes. So they have hell of a fear, hell experience of a fear, and then after they go to jail, then they are suffering because directly they go. That means they don't want to change their life, body. They directly go to the jail, and then how much they will suffer. And then this is like a kind of a sign of the hell realm. And then I said this the kind of a sad result. That means for example, according to my angry emotion, I reborn in the hell realm, and then this karma, at that time I accumulate many karmas through my body, speech, mind. In the mind also, like some part is my angry emotion is a very strong one, but still I have egoistic mind, still I have ignorance, still I have aversion, lots of the emotions. So I have to cleansing or purify each and every emotions. That's where when I was reborn in the hell, only I repay or I purify the fruition of hell realm is my anger emotion and that action. But still remain the imprinting of these angry emotions or the other kind of ignorance, this part. For that reasons, I reborn in the human realm, for example. I reborn in the human realm, but then my life is short. Because in my previous life, before I reborn in the hell realm, I aroused my very serious anger emotion and I acted, right? So that still I remained this imprinting of anger or some part of other emotions. That's where I reborn in the hell human realms, and then my life is naturally short, become short. Or I have a very interesting to kill others, even though I see some birds and something, I just pick up stones and throw them. And all of these things are related to these previous karmas. Are you clear?
Yes, Kampula, thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. You're so welcome. Okay, 2 more questions. Or yes, Eleanor.
May I ask a question that's a practical Dharma question, not related to this?
Yes.
I have a friend in my regular meditation class, and he's retired, and he has his house, and he's just discovered he's got an invasion of carpenter ants, which will eat the house. And he doesn't know what to do because he needs his house to live, but they had told him that he needs to get an exterminator and kill all the carpenter ants. So he's got the Dharma on one side going, be compassionate toward all beings, don't kill anything. And then he's got, well, what am I going to do? They're going to eat my house. Is there anything that you can say about a situation like that? I mean, how does he do that?
Yes, that's true. Sometimes this hand, they are Dharma practitioner, but left hand, they harmfully act. So these kind of actions, when we see kind of these actions from one person or something, it's really hard to accept. This is almost unacceptable action. For that's why the many people criticize to practitioners too. But thing is, the Bodhisattva is like a second Buddha. The second Buddha means they are ready to become Buddha. Their action is inconceivable. So sometimes they are Bodhisattva, and then what they do is, okay, I don't understand clearly this animal or some that name, but I would like to learn that later. I bring an example, my easy one. Oh, I see. Yeah, thank you. What is this name? Carpenter ants. Carpenter ants. Some bodhisattvas kill it because they see they accumulate very serious non-virtue. They notice, and then before these bodhisattvas don't let carpenter ants not let do it, not accumulate like a serious non-virtue. And then bodhisattva, for example, one bodhisattva killed these carpenter ants. That bodhisattva knows he or she rebirth in the hell realm because of he or she killed that intentionally. But dedicate, okay, if I rebirth in the hell realm, it's okay. For the sake of these, stop to accumulate the serious non-virtue by carpenter ants. So that's where, for the sake of this, and then other lives, protect for other lives. For example, one bird killed thousands of insects. And then this bird accumulated lots of non-virtues. That's where they notice. But that Bodhisattva action and the general people's the mind is big different. we don't know this bird how much accumulate non-virtue, and we through that way we don't do like that. If we are Bodhisattva, then we have some realizations, some particularly in very rare this opportunity, or this opportunity is very rare, not of often do that. So in story of Buddha, he did some in some of his lives, in previous his lives. So that's why best thing is don't let do it. So I come back to your question. So don't let do that person one hand, Dharma one hand, harm others. Don't let do it means we pray, may don't do like that. And then, but from our side, we don't, how to say, look down too much, because we cannot judge that person is Bodhisattva or not. So best thing is how we know he is Bodhisattva or not. We explain about Dharma, Don't harm others. Don't say, because Buddha said don't harm. Then it's hard to, this harm to others is how much sinful, how much non-virtue. And the result and the fruition is suffering. And then you take example yourself and others, they have the same feeling. Whether they cannot say, please don't kill me, only that. Different is that. But they have same feeling. We explain, we help them to, we help to save this life. We help to avoid this non-virtue. These are our responsibility. We try to do that. Directly we explain about that. If that person replied some harsh word, we will be ready, the patience and tolerance. Yeah.
But I mean, he's human. I mean, and he's not at the Bodhisattva level yet. I mean, even he says that. So that's the problem. I mean, he's looking at this from the Dharma angle, and yet, I mean, he can't afford not to lose his house, because if he does nothing, it'll disintegrate eventually in a couple of years. Because you don't know where the nest is. There's no way to get at the nest. So you've got to put poison around so that they track it back to the nest.
Oh, I see. There's some thinking, Actually, since we take refuge of Dharma, we say no harm others, directly and indirectly. That's where this is a second vow.
That's why
refuge.
He's in such a turmoil.
But the thing, this bird destroy to his house. But if there is only one house of his, that is his house, then there's no way to create other nest, right? Nest by capital ants. Then if he destroy his nest, is harm to that. But then he think, perhaps he think, often I be angry to that birds. Instead, I just don't let he come in my house. But there are lots of trees.
But they're already there, and they're not leaving. They're inside the walls.
Oh, the. Uh-huh. Oh. Oh, yeah. That's a very good question. I totally understand the different ways. Okay. I'm sorry, I talked a lot from different ways. This is how to do is we actually there are some different methods, different solutions. For example, there are some like substances or something could be reduce them, but the thing is the best thing is you don't harm. If you think, oh, there's no way to, other hands is harm them, other hands protect my house. If I have only these two choices, then there's no way. And then at that time, you have two options. One is you should dedicate your house. This is a great way of practice, great dedication. So you dedicate. That is first. If you really can't dedicate your house, and when you harms these insects, you should regret, confess, recite a mantra. And if you recite Amitabha Buddha, may you directly rebirth in the Pure Land, something like that. You deeply, deeply pray, wish, and practice. And so I think that is these two of these is better to do. But very good.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so now we have our time is up, and thank you very much for joining and asking questions and for answers the question and share your opinions and experiences. I deeply rejoice, and it really benefit each others. And now we arise bodhicitta deeply in the mind. Close your eyes gently. Chancho senjo rainbow je ma je ba naim ji jor je je ba nyam ba mi ba yo gone gonde
May bodhicitta, the precious and supreme mind, arise in whom it has not yet arisen. Where it has arisen, may it not decline, but ever increase higher and higher.
Thank you very much. Have a wonderful time.
Eleanor, did you see in the chat that somebody, Rocco, posted some remedies?
I copied it down. I'm going to send
Okay.
it to my friend. Yes, thank you.